Doesn't the East just win the championship game regardless?
I thought they just handed to the winner of the East. I didn't know. I've
Well,
never gotten
Mark,
this far, so you guys help me out.
well, remember Nebraska, Wisconsin. Those were two West teams that played for it in what was it 2012?
Well,
That's
they
like
I know,
lifetime
split it
ago.
in 2014. You're going back to legends and leaders.
Yeah.
What do you mean they split it in? Yeah, I understand.
In 2014, they went to East-West.
Right, but I'm saying that the Wisconsin-Nebraska game was two West teams, right? I mean, not at the time, but
yes,
currently they're two West teams. But you're right.
Yes.
Yeah. And let's be honest, the 15 game was heart-wrenching for every Iowa fan. It's the single Iowa doesn't. We all know Iowa doesn't have the history that Michigan does. I mean, we're not joking anybody on that, but like that is the single of my life as an Iowa guy. That is the single most painful moment of my Iowa fandom. There's nothing even close to the 2015 game. So, like I said, and I think it's clear that Kirk respects Jim Harbaugh. I don't think he's probably, cuddling up with Jim Harbaugh. These guys aren't buddy, but I think they both respect each other. It's not like Kirk and PJ or Kirk and Scott Frost. So, although I think Kirk probably has a decent feeling about PJ now, but I think there's a lot of respect with these programs. If Iowa can sell out against the run, I know we haven't really been giving substance to anybody, but if Iowa can sell out against the run and rely on a healthy Moss and a healthy Roberts, with Harris coming in, if they're going to run any nickel with a third corner or dime, which they don't do a lot of, and they probably won't against Michigan anyways. But if they can rely on those two guys, I think Iowa's got a very good chance. Like I said, I would not be shocked to see Michigan win. I wouldn't be totally shocked to see them win by double figures. If it's lopsided, I'll be surprised, not shocked, because I think Michigan's the better team. But like I said, I have a very good feeling, and I don't usually make picks based on a hunch. I just have a really good feeling about this game on Saturday.
Ferentz can't get that close to Jim Harbaugh because that's Ryan Day's spot. Their best buddy.
Really?
Bud.
Yeah,
that
press conference on Saturday from Jim might say otherwise.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny to think about, obviously, with last Saturday being the biggest game. How many biggest games of Jim Harbaugh's career have there been in the last 7 years? It seems like it's every third week, right? But that one was the biggest one so far, and it turned out to be, a success. But how about after that, you kind of almost go into a trap game in the Big Ten championship game. It's like this weird feeling, and having Iowa be there seems pretty fitting, does it not? It's this weird thing where it's like all of a sudden the Big Ten championship game isn't even the biggest game of the year for you, right? Isn't even the biggest game in the last 2 weeks, right? So I think that definitely it's cause for concern for Michigan fans to think, all right, is there going to be this letdown? The emotions on Saturday in Ann Arbor were unreal. There has to be a little bit of I was exhausted and I didn't play a snap, right? I was physically, emotionally, mentally drained, and so for these guys, they have to be feeling very similar, at least for the couple days. But
That's how
I know
felt
they
after
came
the Minnesota Wisconsin game, so we were on the same page
right
on Saturday.
All right, good. I'm glad to know I'm not the only crazy person that gets that invested in it.
You guys beat Minnesota almost every year. Justin's talking about
no.
I'm
talking
20 years of frustration.
No, Mark. I was exhausted after the Minnesota-Wisconsin game Saturday.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Implications.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think there's that. Aiden Hutchinson and Cade McNamara both came out and said it. We enjoyed our victory on Saturday night and Sunday, but we turned the page to Iowa already. They said all that. It's how much of that is coach speak, and player speak and all that stuff, and how much is it real? I do think that they're on a mission, though. It does feel like this is a player-led team. Jim Harbaugh has done a great job to empower his guys and have guys like Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Ross, Brad Hawkins, and Cade McNamara, Hassan Haskins, obviously, too. lead this team, and it feels like they're not going to be just satisfied with that win against Ohio State. So I'd be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if they lost this game because of everything, but I'd be shocked if they laid down and let Iowa, dominate them, right? And so I think that's the one thing I would say. You said you wouldn't be shocked if Michigan won by double digits. I would be shocked if Michigan lost by double digits. That's like the only thing that would really surprise me in this game.
I would too. I would be shocked if Iowa wins this game by double digits. If Iowa wins this game, it's going to be close. Mark, do you envision a scenario where Iowa just steamrolls through the Wolverines?
Iowa doesn't beat anyone by double digits, or at least this Iowa team.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say they were doing that early in the season. I guess if Caden McNamara throws 3 picks and that is, as much as we want to talk about, and this was the talk Saturday night with Don. We want to talk about opening it up, right? Taking shots, getting Keegan Johnson involved, jumping over people, running through people. How about we just talk about what Iowa did to get here? And that is Tory Taylor, Charlie Jones, who, by the way, Tory Taylor, 3rd punter listed on the All Big Ten honorees. There's a lot of good punters in the Big Ten in the country this year, Mark. That's something that you need to do a video on quickly. But the bottom line is
all rave reviews, the punting video.
You get a lot of Iowa fans. We put it on this channel, actually. But they got here with Tory Taylor, Charlie Jones, Caleb Shudak, this defense. That is what's going to win this game, folks. It's not going to be, okay, Spencer Petras comes in here and turns into Johnny Unitas, or Alex Padilla comes in here and looks like Kyler Murray. No, this is going to be a ground 'em, pound 'em game, and that's how Iowa wants it to be. I mean, Michigan has the best rushing offense in the Big Ten, and let's remember that Iowa really struggled to contain the run of Wisconsin. They struggled to contain the run of Minnesota. So teams that are run heavy, Iowa's actually not done very well against this year. So I'm banking on, and maybe this is foolish,
Mark.
But
you're not selling your prediction very well.
I'm banking on the fact that Kirk recognizes that at this point, this is the biggest game of his career. 15 at the time was the biggest game of his career, right? They lost. This is the next biggest game of his career to win. So I would think if there's any time to change, just tweak, not change, but tweak an aspect of this defense that is already superb, but struggles in certain circumstances, like the David Bell game where you refuse to double cover maybe the best receiver in the Big Ten, or these Wisconsin-Minnesota games where Iowa just refuses to sell out against the run. To me, this is the time to tweak those things, and I think they will. I just can't imagine them not. Again, an extra day of prep. They watched that Michigan-Ohio State game from home. I think they'll be ready to negate what. It's certainly better than Ohio State did, because Ohio State's defense has not been very good all year, minus the Michigan State game.
I'm looking at Iowa's schedule as well. You think this is a Michigan offense. I know they're run heavy, but it is unlike most Michigan offenses that they've had in the past 5 years under Harbaugh. They still ground and pound, but they score a lot of points. They put up points. They were right up there with Ohio State this year in terms of scoring offense. They didn't do it nearly as explosive. I'm not going to say that they had as good of an offense as Ohio State, but in terms of a scoring offense, they're pretty dang close. And so when I'm looking at the offenses that Iowa went up against here, Nebraska's offense I think was pretty solid, but had their issues with turnovers and all that stuff, which obviously was a main factor in Iowa winning that game on Saturday.